Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangale Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Shrim Rim Shrim Kamale Kamalale Prasida Prasida Om Shrim Rim Shrim Shri Mahalakshme Namaha. Om Shrim Rim Shrim Kamale Kamalale Prasida Prasida Om Shrim Rim Shrim Mahalakshme Namaha. Om Shrim Rim Shrim Kamale Kamalale Prasida Prasida Om Shrim Rim Shrim Shri Mahalakshme Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namah Shivaya Shri Hanumate Namaha Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 30th of May 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the Hriday Akash, in the heart of every single being. With that bhavana, we are continuing to examine the 9 forms of Bhakti, Navada Bhakti, that are discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam and have been implemented by all of the major acharyas in the Sanatana Dharma in one way or the other. Just to review a few points very quickly, that Bhakti, the word Bhakti means love, prem. But it is prem, love, without the funneling of energy inside the ahankar. When energy is funneled inside the limited ego, in Gujarati we will say that is called asakti. You see, so asakti, meaning this entangled, focused attachment, that is called asakti. Hindi mein bhi kehte man, we say asakta ho gaya. Something like that, that word is there. So I think similar word is there. So it is entangled, focused, absorbed attachment and binding in one direction, one person, somewhere it is bound with people, places, circumstances, whatever. That is a binding of the same energy through the ahankar. It is called the aham granthi knot, the knot of the ego. So that is where this energy is stuck inside. Hamare mein hi hai, it's inside of us. And that has to break apart. That's the whole idea. So the entire series of sadhanas that are shown in Sanatana Dharma, whether it is Bhakti Yoga, Ashtang Yoga, Gnan Yoga, Karma Yoga, any type of yoga or yoga we say, it is to break the granthi. See these points very carefully. Granthi means knots, bound knots. They're psychological knots inside the mind, inside the antakarana. So to break through them, we need Shakti. Isn't it so? The knots have to be dissolved. And we can say, it's an analogy. It's not like a physical knot. It's an internal psychological knot. And to break that, the energies that are awakened through mantra sadhana, through 9 forms of devotion, through Swarup Nishta, so all the things that we usually talk about, all of that breaks through the Hriday Granthi, Sanshay Granthi, Mamatva Granthi, Aham Granthi. These are all knots. Hriday Granthi is the male-female vasna, the sexual vasna. Usko Hriday Granthi kehte hai. Mamatva Granthi, this is mine, me and mine. That is Mamatva Granthi. Sanshay Granthi, doubts. Thousands of doubts keep coming all the time. Mind is unstable. Sanshay. इससे शास्त्रों में संशय आ जाता है, संत के जो शब्द है उसमें संशय आ जाता है. These doubts, they keep afflicting. So that is called Sanshay Granthi. Then there is Aham Granthi, that I am me, this, that kind of Granthi is there. There's Lagutha Granthi. I'm so inferior to everybody. That inferiority complex, that is called Lagutha Granthi. Then there's a superiority complex. There's a name for that also. All those kinds of things these are the blockages inside the mind. So the 9 forms of bhakti are sadhana at one level. Right? So this Sakhyam Bhakti that we have been exploring last several days, it is an extraordinarily beautiful relational bond, closeness, extreme closeness with our Ishta Devata. बहुत इसमें closeness आ जाता है. It doesn't come just like that. It takes time, for that closeness, that intimacy to come about. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, somebody is a bhakta of Bhagavan Ram, as an example. The bhakti continues, Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, Hanuman Chalisa, Sundarkand, other different sadhanas are going on. Eventually a point comes where those stotras, the chopais of the Ramayana, the focus on the Ramayana, it begins to sit inside. Inside it keeps coming, again beautifully. And then in that state you feel the closeness of the Ishta Devata. Bhagavan Ram ke saath jo Ishta Bhakti hai, it becomes very close through the Ramayana, through the Ramcharitmanas, through all those Hanuman mantras, and so many things are there. That closeness breaks apart these knots. So in the Sakhyam Bhakti, there is selfless love. There is, of course, the acknowledgement of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan, jo Param Tattva hai. But when we go with all our heart as a friend, that you are my friend, you can keep that bhavna. How beautiful. It's actually quite simple and quite straightforward. But it's a question of whose friend we are. Can you imagine how beautiful that is? Bhagavan Krishna ko friend bana dijiye. Best friend. Who is your best friend? Oh, Lord Krishna. It's a bhav. It's a conviction inside. So unke saath constant connection rehta hai. It is a loving, divine, divya relationship ban jati hai. See, we are aware of our human level relationships. That same type of relationship, but it's divya sambandha. That's all. We have friends, don't we have friends? We have lots of friends. Why not? But you notice what happens even in our human level friendships. When love increases towards a true friend, you are willing to do anything for that person. There's some Saki Tulsidas ji has written about that. I don't remember it right now, but it is about friendship. When the love is so intense in friendship that there is no ahankar left between the two. And the person is willing to sacrifice, at the highest levels, is willing to do everything for the friend. That is the power of love in friendship. And that is what is being directed. That love in friendship is connected with Ishta Devata, Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Ram, Bhagavan Shankar, Devi, etc. Unke saath sambandh bandhna. Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji goes so far to say you can make Bhagavan your lover. Think about that. Now, how is that possible? That's what Mirabai did. That's what Radhika ji did. That's what Gopis did. Of course, the Sakhyam Bhakti is there, but that is Prema Bhakti. We're going to talk about that later on. Prem Lakshana, that's the 10th. That is our goal, actually. That is the height of it all, is Prem Lakshana Bhakti, 10th Bhakti. And we're going to look at Narad Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, Bhakti Nidhi. So look at some of the verses from these scriptures. And Naradji has written these sutras. These are called Narad Bhakti Sutra. And they are a tremendous guide, tremendous way, wonderful way that he has shown the whole world how to dive into bhakti. What are the qualities of a bhakta? These are called Narad Bhakti Sutra. You see, so you can see, like, for example, I've done this tilak on my forehead here. What is the meaning of that? So that is based on the Shikshapatri. The kumkum is the representation, or it is actually offered to Lakshmi ji and Radhika ji और उनके चरणों में रखकर वो जो कुमकुम है, then we place on the forehead. And why in the middle here? This is described by Shriji Maharaj in the Shikshapatri. जिसको ये स्वामी नारायण का तिलक करते हैं, but it is actually राधा कृष्ण का वो तिलक है. Based on Shikshapatri, I'm explaining this. And what is this connection with the bhakti? Agnya Chakra is here, Sahasrara Chakra is here, like physically we're saying, but वो दिव्य है. Between the two of them is the Golok Dham. Right in between. यहाँ जो कुमकुम किया है वो लक्ष्मी जी और राधिका जी का, in Gujarati we say Radha ji and Lakshmi ji nu prasadinu kumkum. You know, we have, always when you go to Lakshmi Mandir, you see the kumkum is there. What is that? It is the Golok. It is the Vaikuntham, and it's the Golok Dham where there is absolute love. So the U shape, this is a Vaishnava tilak. You know, usually I just put Vibhuti, but on Fridays we're going to start doing the Shri Suktam and all that. Some people are coming here today and tomorrow. We have this whole weekend is planned for satsang. That's what we wanted actually. So really good stuff. You know, so this U shape, this is a Vaishnava tilak. All Vaishnava tilaks are in this U shape. Because it is representing, the U is representing the feet of the Lord. Bhagwan ke charan hai wo. Samajhna ji, why these symbols are there and why they are important in terms of devotional sadhana. Symbols are important. As much as we might talk about J. Krishnamurti and all these other interesting people, yeah, I mean, that's all fine. But symbols also are important. You cannot just discard them. Of course, one should not be fanatically attached. You know, that's why you see me sometimes do the Tripunda also. We do the Shaiva tilak, we do the Vaishnava tilak. Sab ek hi hai. वो कोई फर्क नहीं है इसमें. Don't create this divisiveness between one and the other. ऐसा करने की जरूरत नहीं है. But there is a meaning behind it, right? So the meaning behind it is this is at the feet of Paramatma. That हमारी जो वृत्ति है, the bhakti that is inside all the 9 chakras is at the feet of Narayana. And that is what the U shape, which is made out of chandan. So chandan kumkum mixed. That's why it's a little brighter. So Bhagwan ke jo charan hai, yahan hi hamari vritti rehni chahiye throughout the whole day. So, and that is what will hopefully that is the plan today, you know. So we're going to be doing some puja and all that, and then there's some recording on Vedas. The whole day will be gone. It will be spent in bhakti. You know, usually it is anyway, but other things are going on also. So the point is, what is the intention in the mind? इसीलिए तिलक करना चाहिए. तिलक करना ही चाहिए. You should do the tilak. It changes the attitude. There's a purpose behind the externalities. Again, be careful. Don't get stuck in the externalities. That's to be stuck in that of creating divisiveness or ahankar. No. ये हमारा हृदय में जो भाव है, that has to express, and the external puja that is done, that is very, very powerful. Because when you put a tilak on the forehead, when we have a mala, when we have, when we are created an environment, why are we doing that? So that the 9 forms of devotion can blossom beautifully. It is a blossoming. I'll put it to you this way. I remember we have here this beautiful Longwood Gardens, If you haven't been there, you should go there sometime. If you ever visit Delaware, we'll be happy to take you over there. It's only like half an hour from here. It's one of the most beautiful gardens in the whole world. And they have a conservatory. You can go there anytime, even winter time. It's all indoor. And it's, it's like a greenhouse, right? Massive. In there, they have a section just for roses, right? They have a section just for roses, and it's extraordinarily beautiful. So when roses are to blossom, they don't blossom just like that. The external environment has to be the right temperature, the right amount of water, the mist has to be there, the kind of proper soil has to be there. So much cultivation of the rose plant has to come about before the rose bud comes, and then the rose opens up. Isn't it so? Does a rose come just like that? This is the point of bhakti. Why do we do tilaks? We have mala, we have mandir at home, we have different archan pujan that we do, we have scriptures at home. Why? Why do we need all that? It's like saying if you have a rose seed, isn't the rose in the seed? It is, it's potentially. But you have to open that thing. It's not going to just open by itself. It has to be planted, and then it requires cultivation. Then eventually at some point, the beautiful blossomed rose will come and say, yehi jivan hai. This is 9 forms of devotion. The 9 forms of devotion are the cultivation. The 10th bhakti is the fully blossomed rose. That is our goal. Deyo Narayano Hari. भगवान के साथ in Gujarati we say, रसबस रेवु. भगवान रसियो छे. मनवसियो रे मनवसियो. सहजानंद मारे मनवसियो. भगवान जो है उनका जो स्वरूप है मेरे मन में बस गया है. और क्या चाहिए जीवन में? कितनी सुंदर बात है. That is the goal. This worldly experience is already sitting and thrashing us again and again and again because of our agnan. The world is not the problem. I mean, it is what it is, but when Bhagavad Murti aa jati hai, that is what the tilak is all about. Tilak, and this is in Gujarati we say chandlo, tilak and chandlo, or it is a round shape. Why is that round shape also? Why is it not a square shape, or why is it not some triangle shape or something like that? There's a meaning behind that too. Is because the Golok Dham is round. इसका एक meaning, वो जो धाम की जो बात है, see, I'll show you. There's a beautiful scripture. This is called Brahma Samhita. इस इतना अलौकिक शास्त्र है ये, written by भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी, वैष्णव परंपरा में प्रभुपाद जी के गुरु थे वो. बहुत उच्च कोटि के महान गुरु थे वो. He had taken the Hare Krishna mantra, he has chanted Hare Krishna mantra 1 billion times inside a kuti. 1 billion times, not million times. 1 billion times. That is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. पूरा वो संपूर्ण ब्रह्मचारी थे, नैष्टिक ब्रह्मचारी. And he sat in one, he created a place for, and भगवान की मूर्ति, और डूब गए थे वो totally. विचार की ऐसे हमारे परंपरा में संत है. And from that, उनको सब धामों का दर्शन हुआ था, साक्षात्कार, श्वेत द्वीप, बद्रिकाश्रम. ये जो this point, this kumkum word is in the middle here. That is when the evolution comes to that point, भगवान स्वयं आते हैं और वो ये जो आज्ञा चक्र है, आज्ञा चक्र में ज्योतिर्लिंग है. That is where there's a divine दिव्य ज्योतिर्लिंग भगवान शंकर का, शिव जी का. And that is the border with the material world. Underneath that is all the other chakras. But once that Agnya Chakra opens up, you cross the boundaries of the Brahmand. These are the stages of bhakti. And when bhakti reaches the 10th bhakti, when that 10th bhakti opens up, the Agnya Chakra opens up and you begin to cross the boundaries of the Brahmand. इसमें ज्ञान, वैराग्य, नियम, धर्म, ये तो सब आई जाता है. And it is where the अंतःकरण has become absolutely divine. दिव्य अंतःकरण बन जाता है. अंतःकरण दिव्य बनी जाए. It becomes fantastically divine. So you're sitting in ध्यान और अलौकिक दर्शन होते हैं, इसमें दिव्य दर्शन होते हैं. भगवान स्वयं आते हैं. The bhakta still lives in the world, but then in that situation, the body, mind, senses of the bhakta is used by God to do seva. This is not used for काम, क्रोध, लोभ, ये सब कचरा है. It has no consequence at all. The person doesn't waste their energies, their mind, their buddhi, their senses, their intelligence behind these limited experiences that are damaging the sansar. कभी भी नहीं. Not the slightest bit of energy is damaged. And that is Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali. वो जो 3 स्वरूप है महाशक्ति के, महालक्ष्मी में महाकाली, महासरस्वती, महाकाली, महालक्ष्मी, महासरस्वती. they come together, combine together exactly at this point where this kumkum is. That is the Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali. And in simpler way, we can say that is Shri Radharani. Radhika ji ka jo naam lena, bas aur kya chahiye? Don't need anything else. Radha, that's it. Radhe, 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 Radhe. और उनकी कृपा से भगवान कृष्ण मिल जाते. There's a beautiful saying in the Vrindavan, Radhe bin Krishna Adhe. Radha and Krishna. And that is the essence of the entire Adhyatma. This bhakti, this is I'm talking on this based on the Shikshapatri. Shikshapatri mein Sri Krishna Bhagwan ki sab baat likhi hai wahan. And this explanation of this tilak and this kumkum is in the Shikshapatri. It's a quite amazing thing to understand what it is exactly. और जो भगवान का जो धाम है वो अनंत प्रकार के सब धाम है. But these become accessible, so beautifully accessible. Then Sat Chit Ananda, that is the Atma Tattva, as Shankaracharya ji is saying, uska to that is absolutely going to be there. There's no question about that. You realize who you are, और जो ब्रह्मन जो है, अक्षर ब्रह्म जिसको ब्रह्म ज्योति भी कहते हैं, that is just the beginning only. The goal is to be in the upasana state with the form of God. Bhagavat Swarup jo Sakar Swarup hai, uske saath link. We want to be in touch. The light is there. The divine, the word light is not the right word, but it's okay. Divya Prakash, that's the right word. But that's not the end. If it happens when the Antakarana is absolutely brimming with Brahma Vidya, and you're sitting for dhyan, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Aapko Divya Prakash, it will appear. Yes. It is not Jagra, Swapna, Shushupti, Alokik experiences. All the confusions of the Antakarana are gone. All of the projection system that the Antakarana is stuck in, it doesn't project anymore. In Vachanamrut mein Maharaj kehte swapna avastha leen thai jaye. Again, these are more little bit. I'm going to talk about this in the Vedanta scriptures as we move ahead. I'm just mentioning it here. Dream state is silent. Dreaming reduces substantially as we progress spiritually. That's a thing to understand. The amount of dreaming we experience at nighttime, it reduces and the quality of the dream changes. And what is the goal in this? As the connection with Shraddha, with love, with devotion increases towards Bhagavan and saintliness comes about from inside, the dreams become, they change into high quality dreams. स्वप्न आते हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं आते. इसकी quality है ना, the quality of the dreaming changes. That is our indication we're moving in spiritual direction upward. Direct barometer is the change in the quality of the dreams. And then eventually, as we continue forward, in the dreams only Bhagavan appears. Or Divya Alokik Anubhav hote. I'll give you an example of what that means. So many things happen in that time. The chakras can appear, galaxies can appear, different lokas can appear, so many things. Isko Yog Samadhi kehte hain. We'll stop in just a moment here. All these things can happen. Bhagavan Swayam aate hai swapna mein. Remember we talked about that one verse from Tulsidas ji? Jaisi hamari bhavna waise Bhagavan aate hai. Remember? I forgot the exact language there. So God comes, He will definitely come. Once we are really connecting to Him, or Bhagavan itne dekhte how sincerely you are wanting me. You want me? Then I will come to you. That is the essence of the 700 verses of the Gita. to bring our desires into sync with the will of God, and to connect that I want you. बस और क्या चाहिए जीवन में? पर ऐसा नहीं होता. If you even come to that point, that people say, yeah, I want God, like they want some, like buying some gallon of milk at the grocery store. No, not like that. I want you and only you. When that bhav comes that I want you and only you, भगवान स्वयं आते हैं भक्त के पास. You want to see God? You can see God 100%. You can see Paramatma. Get to that point internally. I want you and only you. And other things are going on. That is also your Aishwarya only. There's no disconnection. Because think of it this way. When we want something badly enough, sometimes people want, some big business to come about, or they have some intense vasana that they are trying to fulfill. Something. Doesn't matter in the material world. We want badly. In Gujarati we say tivra ichha ugi jai. Tivra ichha. In intense desire. I want that and only that. Children have that experience. They can cry, shout and scream and all that thing if they don't get small toy that they want. They didn't get the one that they wanted. The father is a multimillionaire, bought everything. But there's one tiny little something the person is shouting and screaming and this and that. So that kind of thing, right? Where that focus is there, that I just want you and only you. Mai avesh mano emam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetas te me yukta tamamataha. It's so beautiful. Mai buddhim mai nivesha. Chapter 12 of the Gita. Advaishta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara sama sukha dukha kshami. कितनी सुंदर बात है ये सब. So भगवान स्वयं आते हैं. Guarantee, 100% guarantee. There's not even the slightest doubt in that. And that is the promise of all the sages. Narad ji ko pucho. We should compare ourselves. We're comparing ourselves with these people in the sansar. Somebody's here, somebody's there. Fine, it's okay. We need role models and all that. Has anybody said, I want to compare myself with Narad ji? I want to compare myself with these extraordinary sages, where they are and where I am? Has anybody said that? Or just comparing only, ये सब काम करो लोभ, इसमें ये सब ऐसे ही मर जाते हैं लोग. हठ मान ईर्ष्या, काम क्रोध लोभ, स्त्री धन आसक्ति, इसमें ही सब यही जीवन है. Why not compare yourself with the great sages and say, where are they, where am I? That will allow us the doorway. One final point. भगवान के जो बड़े बड़े संत है, real sant, that is, they are the doorway. Like we talked about Vallabhacharya ji yesterday, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji we mentioned before. In the Swaminarayan Sampradaya, कितने बड़े बड़े संत हो गए. वैष्णव संप्रदाय में, शैव संप्रदाय में, जो शिव जी की उपासना करते हैं, कितने सिद्ध हो गए, कितने महापुरुष हो गए. जो माता जी की उपासना करते, देवी की उपासना, ये सब तंत्र साधना भी है, with right kind of tantra, not in this harmful kind of stuff, to really connect with the Mahashakti. The amazing Sant Parampara is there. It's thousands of years old. It's not something that was created few hundred years ago. And that is the glory of Sanatana Dharma. The Sanatana Dharma is eternal because it is Param Satyam that is always present, irrespective of time, tradition, or culture. So anyway, that is the possibility for us. भगवान के चरणों में प्रार्थना है, और भगवान के जो बड़े बड़े संत हैं उनके चरणों में प्रार्थना है, और सब शास्त्रों हमारे साथ तो है ही. Now because of all the technology, all the scriptures are available for us. What is not available? The only thing we have to do now is to connect with Bhagwan, और कुछ बाकी नहीं है इसमें. So with that bhavna, we are continuing to examine Navda Bhakti. We made few points here today on the Sakhyam Bhakti. Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam is the next one. I want to start talking about that. Maybe let's do that starting tomorrow or maybe Monday. And then the 10th bhakti, we'll spend a good, maybe even a whole month on that. I don't know. Bhagwan ki jaisi marji. I want to go through Narad Bhakti Sutras, and Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, both of them to some extent. They're amazing. People have not heard of these things, but put it out there. Thoda recording bhi ho jayega aur Bhagwan ke charanon mein arpan kar denge. So let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namah. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanitrambike Gauri Narayani Namostate. Om Divilingaya Namah Urdhvalingaya Namah Anandalingaya Namah Dvadesh Jyotirlingaya Namo Namah. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkamiva Bandhanan Mrittar Mukshiyamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. 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 Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namah. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Thatha Swaha. Om Hrim Swaha. All right.